What up? What up? What up? Back with your boy Justin Henry here, live on the Champions Round YouTube and Twitch pages. Shout out to everybody watching the show today from wherever you're watching. It's Thursday, May 18th, 10 o'clock Western time, Pacific time, I'll say, 1 o'clock Eastern time. And yes, we got a pretty good show today lined up for y'all. Obviously, we're going to get into Lakers Nuggets today, the all-important game 2 for the Los Angeles Lakers in Denver before they head back to the Crypto.com Center. We'll be previewing the Lakers and Nuggets matchup tonight and also talking about Celtics and Heat. Hearing a little bit the Heat pulling off a massive Game 1 upset. Jimmy Butler and crew handling business out there. Also want to talk about a few other things. The NFL ticket, is that safe there on YouTube TV? We saw some interesting stuff there happening with Game 1. So we'll touch into that. And then obviously some Ja Morant stuff, man. There's Ja Morant. This entire thing has been a fiasco over the last couple of days with all kind of voices talking about it. So there were some other analysts out there that dropped their opinion on what should and should not happen. We'll touch on that. And a couple players entertaining some trades, some big name players in the NBA entertaining not just trades, but potential moves to different teams. I'm going to touch on those too. So, but we got to talk about Lakers tonight. The Los Angeles Lakers. This is an all-important game, too, for the Lakers, more so than it is for the Nuggets. The Nuggets, I think they can go into crypto if they're playing well, get a win. This is a team that travels well. They've been the best team in the West all season long. But for the Lakers, if they lose tonight's game, it spells doom for this team going down 0-2 to a Denver Nuggets team that is playing with all the confidence in the world. This isn't the rematch of the bubble. This is a different Nuggets team. And this team, well-coached, well-disciplined. I'm sure that they'll make adjustments after having a huge lead. Jokic is playing like it should have been a 3-time MVP. He's not playing anything less than that. So we see Embiid sitting on the sideline, and Jokic, to me, is probably the best player in basketball right now. You have to call him that. Now, for all intents and purposes, this Nuggets team knows what they're up against with LeBron James, AD, and the rest of the supporting cast. And the Lakers were able to make some major adjustments in the second half of Game 1. What's going to be the game plan for Game 2? Because the Nuggets cannot come out with the same expectations that they did to start Game 1. They'll have to make adjustments to the Rui Hachimura adjustment on Jokic. And will Darvin Ham unleash that a little earlier on the game? We're going to find out. This is the LeBron. To me, this is probably one of the bigger games in LeBron's later half of his career, post-Cleveland days. This is the biggest game for him as a Laker, even more so than like the bubble, in my opinion, because in year 20, with all the things that have gone on this year, the scoring record, the trades that have happened, the slow start, struggling to get in the playoffs, the foot injury for LeBron, we are talking a lot about a legacy for a guy that's legacy has been built on overcoming losses, earlier losses than expected. The Lakers are not favored to win this series, but this is this for all, like the Lakers. Everybody thinks that they're going to the West to the finals. Everybody thinks they have an opportunity to win. It's not like they're just up against a team that is expected to blow them out the water. A lot of people think that the Lakers could win this series, myself included. So LeBron going home early does put another dent in a legacy that has been defined by not being perfect. Michael Jordan's legacy is defined by being perfect. 6-0 in the finals. He was a winner. All of this stuff. He took the last second shots. LeBron James' legacy tonight is on the line because they cannot go 0-2. And it is defined by losing earlier than expected or just losing in general. 4-6 in the finals. So for him, I think he needs to get to the finals, get another championship in order to end all these GOAT talks that everybody else has and whatever opinions. It's not really necessary for LeBron, but if you ever want to be considered the GOAT, sometimes we got to have that conversation. In this game tonight, I think LeBron back against the wall realizes the importance of this. I mentioned these stats yesterday, but I want to reiterate them. LeBron in game 2 is 37-14. 37-14 in game 1s. He's 31-22. A little bit different record there, right? So he does have a little bit more of a sense of urgency when it comes to game 2s. LeBron James in his career, in his entire career, 32 different series, has not won a road game 2 times in his entire career. That was both against the Golden State Warriors in the finals. 2 times in his entire NBA career, he has not won a road game. I think the Lakers go in there, immense sense of urgency. He also mentioned in this post-game conference that they could have been better. The Lakers will be better in game 2. I fully expect that. Darvin Ham echoed a lot of the same things. The Lakers absolutely need to win tonight. I absolutely think they take care of business. But do you agree with me, Matt? Matt, what's good, dog? Good to have you on the show, bro. Again, yeah, as always, what am I talking about?
How's it going, Justin? So, as you were watching the end of that game 1, right, were you kind of like, did it? Because for me, the Nuggets got out. They were up by so much. And the Lakers looked great. They brought it back, almost had a chance there. Was there a part of you that was like feeling kind of good, like going into game 2, like, okay, we figured some things out. Hopefully we can carry it over to game 2 and still, you just got to steal one, right? You can steal one on the road. Then you're feeling pretty good at going back to crypto. What was your thoughts there at the end of game 1?
Every part of me was thinking that the Lakers were putting their foot on the gas to win game 1. But then it also gave me a sense of confidence, like this Nuggets team, yeah, it's a good team, but they're beatable. To come back on the road down 20 in game 1, it didn't feel like there's sometimes where it feels like teams let off the gas. Yeah. Never at a point in that game did it feel like the Nuggets were just letting off of the gas. It felt like they were giving their best effort. My guy Zachary said I'm scared of Jokic. He didn't play at a softer level. It's not like Jokic didn't play well. It's the fact that the Lakers played up. You could sense that they were like, okay, this is a winnable spot. And every time it seemed to creep closer, Jokic is hitting a bomb 3, one-legged that Anthony Davis can't believe. Jamal Murray's hitting incredible threes. It was just like LeBron missing free throws that we've seen him make in his career. Clutch shots, like we've seen LeBron drill those. And so the ball wasn't bouncing the Lakers' way, and that's why it ended up being almost a one-score loss for the Lakers team after game 1. I feel very confident that the teams are evenly matched and that the sense of urgency is really the biggest deal here. The Lakers, especially LeBron and AD, understand the importance of game 2. It's one of those things, man. I'm like, when I look at it, the Nuggets have never been to the NBA Finals. The Nuggets do not have the championship pedigree. And Draymond's talked about that. Draymond Green has talked about that extensively. Being to a championship, knowing the path to get there, knowing the road to get there, that does mean something, right, Matt?
Yeah, no, it does. And for me right now, like, this Nuggets team is great and all, but Jokic is playing at this level that I don't know if any of us thought he was going to reach come playoff time. I mean, he's the best player in the world right now. You watch a basketball game and you're like, this guy almost had a triple-double in the first quarter. Like, the shot that he makes, the opportunities he creates for his teammates. I mean, he totally slows down a basketball game. You have to play to his pace. And for like we talked about before, Anthony Davis, you can make the case the best defensive player in all of the NBA. And what he was able to do in game 1 was just nothing short of incredible. I fully expect to see an LA team that comes out. I think they're going to have a lead early. I think they're going to come with an urgency. I think they're going to be up like 8 to 10 points at the end of the first half. I think we got a close one in game 2, but hey, if you're the Lakers right now, just focus on game 2. If you can make it a 1-1 series, head back to crypto. You're feeling good.
Where the Denver Nuggets will need to make adjustments is to the Roy Hachimura thing, right? Roy on Jokic allows Anthony Davis to play the pick and roll a little bit easier. He's able to kind of roam a little bit. They have to find a shooter, somebody that can be on the wing to open things up. Aaron Gordon's not enough of a threat. It reminds me a lot of the Warriors series when Kevon Looney, Draymond Green were out there. Anthony Davis didn't really respect them as shooters. He didn't respect them as a threat on the outside. And in order for Jokic to have the space that he's going to need to create, Anthony Davis is going to have to play a different role on defense. They're going to need him to spread out a little bit wider. And right now, the Nuggets haven't, at least in the second half of game 1, they didn't make him adjust, right? Like, That's all we're looking for. For the Nuggets, I'm not looking for that to happen, because then that means the Lakers are going to win more basketball games. But on the Nuggets side of the ball, it's like they got to make some adjustments, man. It sounds like I have a feeling we're going to see a different lineup for these Nuggets.
Yeah, and Darvin Ham came out and said that he's considering like starting Rui for game 2. Like that's something that just came out like 45 minutes ago. So
he said
Rui
starting
Rui,
game 2?
Yeah, Darvin Ham is considering a lineup change ahead of tonight's TNT playoff matchup versus the Nuggets. So
I'm telling you, it was one of those things. It was noticeable the minute it happened. They were talking about it during the broadcast, but even if you were a casual fan, you could notice, okay, something right here has changed with this game. And it was the defense on Rui and the ability for Anthony Davis to play in a different role. So 3-guard lineups kill the Lakers. So, yes, they're going to have to get another shooter on the floor. But that also, when you have a guy like Rui who can guard the big, now that makes things a little bit different. You don't have AD playing the big now. Now that changes a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. If you had to make a prediction for tonight, Matt, Nuggets, I think they're favored right now, 5.5 points. Who'd you take?
I'm taking the Lakers, and Justin, I'm not coming because your basketball knowledge is so much higher than mine. But correct me if I'm wrong. You did say Lakers in 5, correct?
Lakers in 6.
Are you sure it wasn't 5?
Might have said.
Because I think I said Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6. Let's go Lakers in 6. Let's go Lakers in 6. Man, you can't be pulling my cards on this show, bro.
Hey, every time you get something wrong, it's so rare. I got to go after you for it. So
you've been getting everything right, bro. You've been getting everything right. You said Heat. You said Heat in 7. I said Lakers in 6. And you also said the Miami Heat were going to win. Or no, it wasn't you. It was this guy right here who was on the show and said the Heat were going to win in 7. Was that him or was that you? I can't remember. That was you, right, Nick?
That was me yesterday.
What does the shirt say?
It says you know I'm right.
I had to pull up Nick, the podcast, and I was talking about Matt saying, you know what I mean, that the Heat were going to win. Nick said the Heat were going to win game 1. Said that on the show yesterday. You called the Heat winning the series. Nick said the Heat was going to win. I'm by myself. You talking about all this Heat now, this knowledge. Bro, I'm looking like a loser right now. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Nick. Came on the show yesterday, dropped the gem.
Hard to beat the Heat. Hard to beat the Heat.
Hard to beat the Heat. Get out of here, Nick. We don't hear no beat the Heat.
Shout out Nick. I didn't, I missed yesterday's show, so I was not aware of Nick's ball knowledge is just next level, apparently.
He said the Heat were gonna win in 7. He said the Heat were gonna win in 7, and he also said the Heat were gonna win game 1. And I wanted to smack the shit out of him, but he was right. He was right. I'm gonna start embarrassing you, Matt. Don't make. I got a card I could pull. I'm gonna pull it anyway. I don't care. I got a card I can pull. You're gonna see yourself on the full screen here in a second.
Oh, God.
Matt, I'm gonna do it right now. I don't care, Matt. Hold on. Why are you hiding the picture?
They're coming down.
The kid picture. It's going to be on YouTube forever. It's already there. No. Young Matt on the wall, bro. I love to see it, man. Yo, but listen, this Heat series, dog, all seriousness, this Heat and Celtics series, it's going to be crazy, dog.
Oh, my gosh.
The Celtics, it always feels like, we call them the best team in the series against the Hawks, against the Sixers. We're like, hey, the Celtics are going to win this series, right? The Celtics are the best team. They're deep. They can shoot the 3 ball. They can defend. And then they always end up with their back against the wall somehow, man. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the fact that they don't play with a sense of urgency to start series, but, a 46-point franchise record hit like a quarter from Miami in the third, like changed that entire game. And suddenly you're down 1-0. This is not Atlanta. This is not Philadelphia. You have Jimmy Butler and a hungry Miami Heat team that I think believes they're the best team in the East. And, the Celtics now are in a must-win game 2 situation.
I compare it to, when you wait, you're in school and you got a paper that's due like a couple weeks out. And you're like, I'll get to it when I get to it. Oh, I'll write it when I need to. Those procrastinators. I'm a huge procrastinator. Huge procrastinator. It feels like that with this Celtics team. They're like, we're not in trouble yet. We don't need to take them serious. It's fine. We can win. But against this Heat team, I don't see a way that they're going to be able to just play lackadaisical or procrastinate on this series. They can't go down 3-2 to this Heat series. I know they've done it. I know they've been down 3-2 before and won. But this Heat team is different. Like, Jimmy Butler's not hurt anymore. He looked like Jimmy Butler last night. I'm concerned. And I think the Celtics bounce back in game 2. We're probably not going to be on tomorrow. We are off the air tomorrow, but I think the Celtics bounce back game 2 and have a really strong effort. But for the course of this series, I came out and said, I said Celtics in 5. That was my pick. And I might need to revise that as well, man. I ain't gonna lie.
No, Boston's so frustrating to watch because when everything's clicking and they're playing well, they're arguably the best team in basketball. But then you see stuff like last night where you're just questioning, like, does this team really think they can, just throw away a game here and there and get away with it? Because, the other thing about Miami that I love, I don't know if you ever catch any of their press conferences, the chemistry on that team is incredible. Like the guys, the jokes, you could tell this is a team that genuinely loves each other and that plays for each and every one of them. So I really like Miami. I find myself at this point rooting for Miami in the East. It's so funny because, the Bulls were so close to changing the entire course of this Eastern Conference playoffs, but we weren't able to get it done. Now I got to root for Jimmy Butler. I know. At least I got Jimmy, man. I love Jimmy, so at least I can root for him.
You mentioned the culture there, bro. Like in the way that they talk in the pressers, they all have confidence. You could tell every single player on that team they expect to win. They're not just happy to be there. We know it's trickled down from Pat Riley, Spo. These guys are very confident basketball players, and it's different guys that keep stepping up. Tyler Hero went down. I think I threw him for dead, and it's like they don't lack. Like in any area, they are defensively there, and these role players just step up out of nowhere. And it's like you kind of expect that from the Celtics, and you don't always get it. You get too much randomness. Marcus Smart, one game he looks like an all-star. The next game you're wondering, why is he not taking any shots? And speaking of taking no shots, Jason Tatum in the fourth quarter takes no shots in the fourth quarter after dropping 51. I need some kind of consistency, man. It's tough to watch the Celtics team and get behind them.
Yeah, and Jason did the first half. He was driving to the hoop, creating for himself. And I was like, all right, we're going to have another, big Jason Tatum performance. And then the fourth quarter comes and suddenly you're questioning, well, where is Tatum? Like, what is going on here? And I don't know how much of that has to do with coaching or, what's going on in Boston, but you just can't have that happen with your superstar player, come playoff time, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Now, Jimmy Butler does have a lot of confidence. He was talking at the podium and, getting his guys riled up. Do you think he's the best player in this series? Like, would you call Jimmy Butler the best player in the series? Because, obviously it's like, hey, Tatum, Butler. Because Jimmy shown, playoff Jimmy is different, bro. Like, regular season Jimmy's one thing, but playoff Jimmy's different.
I think if I had a team and I wanted one guy to lead that team to the NBA Finals, I would rather have right now in his career, I'd rather have Jimmy Butler than Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum's a better overall basketball player and is more talented in terms of what he can do. But Jimmy Butler, just seems to have, I know it's everyone used it, but he's got that dog in him. He does.
Yeah.
The guy is just nails come playoff time. And I know he puts the whole playoff Jimmy thing aside, but he's a totally different player. He rises to the occasion. And, if he takes this Miami Heat team to the finals, especially after Tyler Hero went down, after everything that happened during the regular season, it would just add to his legacy.
Mr. Big Face Coffee. I'm drinking coffee myself. Mr. Big Face Coffee over there, man. Always making moves. A couple little side notes, man, NBA-wise. I was, Ja Morant, we talked a little bit about it on the show yesterday. And it's just, it's getting to a point now with Ja, you're like, come on, dog. Like, what are you doing, man? But he issued an apology yesterday. It was AI-ish. It was Chat GPT-ish. It was scripted-esque, right? Obviously, he said he was apologetic. He would not make the mistake again and all this other yada, yada, yada. Well, it led to other people talking about it. And one of the big things that people are talking about is the suspension number. Is 40 games plus deserved? Half of a season deserved for a guy. JJ Redick passionately went on the microphone yesterday and discussed why, it can be compared to, legislation holding guns and elected officials holding guns and, gun problems in America are being avoided and all this other stuff that was unrelated to basketball, unrelated to being a professional athlete, unrelated to being in the NBA. and having a microscope on you and getting paid to play the game of basketball as a professional. The NBA is different than being a politician. The NBA is different than any other career path. There are a lot of young individuals who watch the NBA, and there are role models making hundreds of millions of dollars. I was light on Ja Morant the first time. You're a young kid, you make mistakes, things happen. You have to be able to account for mistakes. But you make the same mistake twice, the same exact mistake twice, less than a month after you just got eliminated from the playoffs, and you're representing the brand, and you went to Adam Silver and talked about, I'm never going to make this mistake again. You got to pay, man. I'm with the half season plus.
Oh, I completely agree. I hope it better be half a season. And I normally, I really I respect JJ Redick. I think he's great, but I totally disagree with everything he said there. And I agree with Charles Barkley. Like, when you put on that jersey, when you sign for an NBA team, especially, when you're making $90 million with endorsements and your contracts and everything like that, there are certain things that, there maybe to the normal person you can get away with. But, this is so much bigger than just Ja Morant. This is the brand of the NBA basketball. This is, like you said, there's kids out there that are watching that, have Ja Morant jerseys or want to play like Ja. And the fact that he would do something so stupid, literally less than a month later, like, I don't care, actions speak louder than words. And at the end of the day, Ja Morant chose to make the same stupid decision. Again, let's just think about this for a second. Somebody pulls out their phone, right? They go live. And you think it's a good idea to show off your, like, I just don't get it, man. And this is something that, I don't know what's going to happen to Ja. Like we said before, I think we talked about this a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I hope in a couple years we look back on this and, we're like, hey, man, you know what? Ja had that rough patch, but he got through it. He's now, obviously a phenomenal basketball player. And I also think you have to ask yourself, like, Ja Morant missed out on All-NBA team, right? Probably, if none of this happens, Ja Morant makes All-NBA team. He lost out on like $30 million because he didn't make All-NBA team. And he's just, I cannot believe someone would be willing to throw away their career at such a young age over this, man.
$30 million mistake. You made any $30 million in your life before? I haven't. I haven't had a chance to make a $30 million mistake in my life, but that would be it. I'm not going to go flat brandishing a gun. At the end of the day, Charles Barkley's right, and I think he echoed a lot of what we talked about too on the show. It's like, you got to stand up, you got to be a professional, and you got to deal with the consequences that come with being a professional. There's no need to go light on the punishment. This is the second case. You went light the first time, 8 games. This is the time to go hard and set the message. There's no precedent. I get it. There's no rule for brandishing a gun, and brandishing a gun isn't illegal, but there's a lot of things in the workplace that you cannot do that are not illegal. You can't go messing around with your coworkers. You can't go stealing stuff from work. You can't be late to work. Not all that stuff's illegal, but guess what? You can't do it in the workplace. It's just what happens. So to me, I'm looking at, I'm like, I see the punishment. I know what it is. I'm leaning towards Chuck's side, man. Chuck, he says a lot of dumb stuff. JJ says a lot of smart stuff. I'm kind of on the opposite side on this one.
I'm with you on that.
A couple players. We've seen a couple players have early off seasons. And so this is the time now. This is the time where speculation goes and players start entertaining a little bit more than they probably should be entertaining at this point in time. The first candidate that we're going to talk about has been in trade rumors for the last few years. Damian Lillard set to Twitter yet again. Shout out to Damian Lillard. Dude's dope. I like
He's
Damian
awesome,
Lillard.
yeah.
But he's always in this scenario. Loyal to my soil, or I want to be traded. I want to win championships, but I'm here for the grind. You're playing both sides. Well, it looks like both sides are starting to come to an end because on Twitter, there was a petition to trade Damian Lillard for the number 3 pick to start building around the number 3 pick or something like that. Basically getting rid of Dame. What Dame says, send them votes in if you want to trade me. He told the fans to send the votes in if they want to trade him. That's probably the most open I've heard Dame talk about being moved, and not like, hey, I'm just ignoring this. He's openly addressing the trade rumors now.
Yeah, and it's going to be so interesting to see what happens with Portland because, I understand his loyalty and the fact that Damian Lillard wants to win a championship in Portland, but I'm at the point right now where, like, I would do anything to see Damian Lillard on a team that's competing in the Western and Eastern Conference Finals. Like, he's built for those moments. And unfortunately, Portland hasn't been able to produce that for him for the most part. So I personally hope he gets traded. The fact that he put out a petition is just incredible and so on brand with Damian Lillard because he's also like Mr. Social Media. Like I don't know, like he commented on like Embiid when like those press conference or those posts. You know what I'm trying to say.
Post-game conference. Yeah, I'm going to mess it up too if I try.
Yeah.
So don't even worry about it. So, yeah, Lillard obviously on social media is one of those guys. He's in tune, but that's very telling. Another social media personality, I would say, when he does get on social media, and it's normally during the offseason, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We see him, and we know it's normally fun, lighthearted. Giannis is a cool dude.
Yeah.
He's a good person. He reminds me of Shaq. Like when Shaq was younger, he's just like really personable. You know what I mean? And always says like some off the wall thing. You're like, I didn't know he had that in his bag, right? Well, he's chilling on live, on Instagram Live or TikTok Live or Twitter Live, something live. He's on live platform. And the question comes up, Giannis, would you play with the Warriors? And he goes, whoever he's with, he goes, Giannis to, they're asking Giannis to the Warriors? Huh. He's entertaining it. He does not say, no, I love my team. I love Milwaukee. I would never leave. Because these Giannis rumors came out years ago. Remember, there was Giannis to the Warriors rumors a couple of years ago. And now all of a sudden, he's giving the head nod. Like, imagine Giannis on the Warriors, bro. Like, they give up like Kuminga. They give up Dre. They give up Clay. All three of those, plus some picks. And it's just Giannis and Curry, bro. That would be lethal.
Oh my gosh. How would you even defend that?
I don't know. You'd have to put two on Giannis. You have to have somebody running around every screen for Steph Curry. Yeah, they would have to build a team around that because that would be an interesting, like he would be Draymond on steroids. If Draymond could score the ball, play better defense, and be a better rebounder, that would be Giannis. Like, imagine Draymond, but like great offensively. That would be insane, bro. And if Jordan Poole got a little bit of confidence back,
I think the NBA would go up in flames if Giannis was traded to the Golden State Warriors. Would
that be the best duo in the league?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think
over LeBron and AD, Jokic and Murray, like Tatum and Brown.
I mean, like if this move happened next year, like this offseason, going into the following season, I would have to say that's the best duo in basketball.
I don't know. We thought Booker and KD was going to be this incredible pairing. Kawhi and Paul George, we thought was going to be this incredible pairing. I don't know, man. It just seems like, Giannis and Curry is that much better than what the Bucks have right now because the Bucks have done all they can to put pieces around Giannis, and he's still out here entertaining the fact that he could go to the Warriors. I don't think it'll sound like it's always greener on the grass is always greener on the other side is what they say, right?
Yeah, I guess. Hey, you know what? In our imaginary world, we can picture that. Unless it happens, I guess we'll never find out, right?
Unless it happens, bro. Well, one thing we can do is we know that there's some different coaching candidates for 3 teams that were expected to make deep playoff runs. They didn't. And so we have 3 different teams. And I want to, talk a little bit about potential fits with these teams because they all have really good coaches in place. The 76ers, the Suns, and the Bucks all had really good coaches in place. All of them got fired. Well, maybe not the Sixers. Let me slow my roll on the Sixers a little bit because I'm not the biggest Doc Rivers fans, but name value wise, they had, some good candidates, or they had some good candidates there in place. So coaching wise for the Philadelphia 76ers, they're looking for a new coach. I'm going to drop some names. We got 6 names here for the Sixers. I'm going to go through them. And let's at least give our opinion on who we think should be top of the list, all right? First one is Sam Cassell. So Sam Cassell, he's been on coaching staff for the Wizards, for the Clippers. We've seen him there. Monty Williams, coming from the Phoenix Suns, obviously. A name that surfaced before Doc Rivers, Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni pushing the pace, making those guys play 48 minutes like Tibbs. Nick Nurse, another name. Mike Budenholzer, of course, and Frank Vogel, a name we haven't heard in a while. Who would be the top of your list? I think if I was going to go top of the list out of these candidates, I think Sam Cassell is a name that really intrigues me. Sam Cassell, a guy that has experience coaching and a guy that has experience playing. A lot of point guards do well as well. Obviously, Doc Rivers is a point guard, but we see like Ty Lue do well. J Kidd has done pretty well. I think Sam Cassell could come in there and do a decent job.
I feel like personally, I don't know. Like my head coaching knowledge is nowhere near what yours is at. I would love I kind of like Frank Vogel. I always thought he was a good coach, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that he, deserved another chance. So I don't know.
Frank Vogel's like Billy Donovan for me. Like,
really?
Get him out of here, yeah.
Just get him out of there? Okay, fair enough.
A good coach, but I don't want my team.
I mean, I think, Nick Nurse. The thing for me is when you're looking at it, Milwaukee or Phoenix, what's like the most appealing job, like head coaching?
I think Milwaukee is probably the more appealing job because it's live-in ready, right? It's like choosing houses. The Phoenix Suns right now has a good foundation, a lot of sexiness inside the house, but like the yard needs hella work, or like there needs to be a lot of repairs done in the house, right? The Sixers is one of those houses that's been there for a while, but it's seen better days. I don't really want to go to that because it seems like it's going to need a lot of work in about 2 years out. The Bucks is like move-in ready. It's got nice furniture. It's in a good area. The schools have been vetted. There's nothing too sexy about it, but it's ready to rock and roll. So I think if I was looking at all the head coaching jobs, the Milwaukee Bucks job would definitely be the fit I'd want. But there's some fixer-uppers out there that you can flip. You can flip it into better opportunities. So I ain't too mad at it. But speaking of those other opportunities, want to really quickly go through those. The Phoenix Suns obviously have a chance to have had some assistants interview for the job. Sacramento's Jordy Fernandez, Milwaukee's Charles Lee, and Darko Rajakovic. I don't know who any of those guys are, so we're not going to pretend.
I was going to say, thank you. Please don't ask me who you think they're going to.
Talk to me about their analysis and what you think about their game plan.
Break down each one of them.
And then the Bucks, the same thing. We got a couple candidates for the Bucks as well into the picture. Joseph Blair is a guy who the Bucks have interviewed as well. So a bunch of candidates out there looking to take on these prime opportunities. The name Mark Jackson has also been thrown out there. I think it'd be a good idea for him to get another opportunity as well. So a lot of coaching changes here for prime organizations, prime setups. Be interesting to see how it all plays out. But let's get into Daily Dozen, Matt. It's time.
Did you guys play yesterday? How'd you do?
Yesterday, we did play yesterday, actually. I'm pulling it up right now. Guys, and if you do not play Daily Dozen with us, now's the time to do it. It's the NBA playoffs. Matt's got it up there on the screen. All you have to do is download the Champions Round app, play Daily Dozen, and for free, you have an opportunity to win $250 this week. $250 giveaway. Just be atop the leaderboard by the end of the week. $250. And if you want to get that money a little bit quicker, all you got to do is play. All you got to do is play because guess what? Last night, Matt, we played Daily Dozen. We were going for 12. Guess what number we got?
8.
7. We got $12. We got our money back.
Hey, you got your money back.
Hey, we got our money back. And some of it was kind of close. I'm not going to lie. Like, there was some we talked about, like Jason Tatum getting a double-double. I thought that was a lock. Kevin Love, we took the under. It was like 7.5 points. He demolished that. There was one we went back and forth on, though, and we should have got it right. We had it right. And I think I went to like my conspiracy bag and my deep thought bag. Jimmy Butler steals over 1.5. We had that and switched it to under. Oh. But it's time for redemption. Hey. Where there's failure, there's redemption. So we got to get back into it. Today's Daily Dozen begins. Now we are going to play for cash as we always do because you can 100x your money. I want 100x, Max. We need 100x.
We got to get one.
Have to before the playoffs are over.
Yeah.
Before the playoffs are
then
over.
Then it's gonna be baseball and
yeah, we know how we do on baseball. We did a whole Spicy Slips episode on baseball and missed everything. Everything's swing and a miss. But Denver Nuggets, here we go. Team total points over 116 tonight. So the total is 226 tonight, 226.5. There was a higher scoring game, 126-132 game one. I expect a lot of the same. I'm going over.
Okay, let's go over.
You were feeling under, weren't you?
I was kind of feeling under there for a second, but I didn't realize. I kind of forgot how high scoring the last game was.
Yeah, I want to say it was. Let me pull that up just to make sure. I'm pretty sure it was 126-132 game one. I could be mistaken, but
that sounds right.
It sounds. Sometimes 126-132 on the dot. You're on the dot, bro. On the dot. So that means the Lakers. I got them. We both have them covering tonight.
Yes.
Team totals at 110. If we went over there, we got to go over here as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So the $1 million question is: Jokic getting a triple double?
I think I have to say yes, right?
We have to. We have to.
Yeah.
I don't see a situation where he doesn't. I mean, he could have that in a quarter.
No, exactly.
He had a double-double in the first quarter, game one.
Ridiculous.
Right. LeBron James, a double-double. Now, LeBron has seen triple-doubles recently. He's playing like LeBron James. And if this team is going to have a chance to steal game two, which I think this is kind of the plays that we're going to have are saying, all right, Lakers cover.
Yeah.
We need a big LeBron game. I think we go over on double-double, whether it's assist or rebounds.
I like it.
Jamal Murray, total points at 25.5. This is an interesting number because, Jamal Murray gets hot and cold very easily, but they need him like this. And he tends to play well. And the Lakers couldn't stop him last game with D'Angelo Russell on him. It was a tough go around. He pretty much got the shots he wanted. I'm going to go over with Jamal Murray. How are you feeling?
I'm on the fence, but I'm going to take over as well. I think he could hit 26, 27 points here. Man, it's so tough because I'm on the Lakers to win tonight, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we also took the over on both the team points.
On the points.
Okay, let's go over on Jamal Murray.
I think the under on points kind of works in the Lakers' favor, but I see this being like a Denver tempo type game. And Jamal Murray, if Roy is still on Jokic, and we talked about how he's announced to be or expected to start, or at least in consideration to start, that means Jamal Murray's going to have to find some more offense. Let's bank on it. Austin Reeves total points at 15.5. He had that in the fourth quarter of game one. My Lord.
Unbelievable.
Austin Reeves, man, he's been kind of streaky though.
Really streaky.
It's tough for me to see him going back to back having huge games like that. I like the under here. How you feeling about it?
Let's go under. You know what? The fact that you took a Lakers under, that really tells me a lot. So let's go under.
It's got to be somebody else this game. Somebody else will step up. AD, 12.5 rebounds. It's a high. Every time I feel like we look at AD, his numbers are high. What do you think about this one? I'm going solely with your pick. Over, under. I'm
going to go under. I think he gets like 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
I don't know how many rebounds did he have last game? Hold up.
I want to say it was like 15 or 16 last game. Last game. Oh, no, he had 10. He had 10 last game.
Okay, let's go under. Let's go under here.
Let's go under. I'm riding with it. Aaron Gordon, total rebounds, sitting at 5.5. Last game, Aaron Gordon had 3 offensive rebounds, 3 total rebounds. They were all offensive. 3. We're at 5.5 for Aaron Gordon.
I mean, this one feels too easy. Like, should we just go under on this, or do you think he's going to go over that? So he needs to double his rebounds from last game.
Has to double his rebounds from last game, and he might lose some PT if he can't shoot this game too. I want to go over because it seems like a doable number for Aaron Gordon. He's typically around 6 to 7 rebounds, but in this series, it's a whole different ball game now. Let's go under.
All right.
Unconventional. This is unconventional.
I'm very proud of us for taking all these unders. We're normally like hitting the over on everything.
Normally we're overs, and we're going to a guy where I'm normally locking in an over anytime I see Michael Porter Jr. Shots attempted over, points over. Right now we're looking at 3-pointers at 2.5. 2.5 3-pointers.
That's just so on the like. He's either gonna.
Yeah, Mike.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Mike he's getting at 2. We're going over 2.5. 2.5. And then one of the mystery players for this Lakers team, D'Angelo Russell. Who knows what to expect with him, because sometimes we're getting 30-point D-Lo and he's pointing the ice in his veins. Other times he's a ghost in the game or a liability defensively. His 3-point total sitting at 2.5 for today.
Do you feel a bounce back? I mean, I think there was a video that was circulated of him taking shots for like an hour, 30 minutes after the game.
After the game, yes.
After the game, how do you feel about this number? I mean, you're Mr. Laker here.
Yeah.
You think he bounces back?
If we're counting out Austin Reeves,
Yeah.
I think that means we need to count in D'Angelo Russell. And it's kind of a stretch. We know Hachimura is going to get more PT. D'Angelo Russell, they were attacking him last game. So there's a lot of you know, where you got to look inside yourself. And you got to dig down deep. And D'Lo has to say, am I going to be a part of this Laker run, or am I going to be a liability this series? In Denver, we've seen Denver do this in the past. When Dwight Howard had to play a much larger role for the Lakers. I remember that series. There was a series against Houston where Dwight Howard was unplayable. And then against the Nuggets, he came in and he was the Jokic stopper. And so it kind of feels like that might be happening with Rui Hachimura, and that we might see a little bit less of D-Russ. I'm going to bank on D-Russ having a good game. Let's go over 2.5.
Okay.
Because I'm going to bank on the shots afterward meaning a lot to him. So he seems like a hard worker. Let's go with the over. KCP, former Laker, total steals 1.5. Him and Bruce Brown both played pretty well game one. KCP, we going over 1.5 steals?
I'm going to go under. I think he's going to get 1 steal.
1 steal? All right, let's go under. And the last one we got, Dennis Schroeder, total assist 3.5 against the Nuggets. Schroeder's a weird player. I want to go over on this one.
Okay.
He's always doing some easy drop-offs, lobs. I think that's a doable number for him.
Let's lock it in, baby. I feel like today was a little bit harder. Like there wasn't it was a little more a random kind of, steals, assists from guys. Like, did we was there any LeBron stuff besides the double-double?
Double-double. That's it. Mystery Sauce joined in the chat. Was good. He said, hey, you guys have any betting advice for the Champions League final? This is Champions Round. I got some betting advice. So download the Champions Round app and see what you find. This is not for the Champions League final. We are talking NBA, NFL today, unfortunately. But Mystery Sauce, appreciate you tuning in. Make sure maybe we can get some Champions League stuff in here at some point, even if it's just a little broad coverage,
Just take Man City to win the whole thing. They won yesterday against Real. Just take Man City.
There's your advice. My guy, Matt. Play Daily does it with us on the app. Champions Round. Download it. Anything else for today, man? What you got planned for the weekend, bro?
Not much. I'm in Austin right now, and the weather's beautiful. So just spending time. My grandma's supposed to come in town tomorrow. So just some very much needed family time.
Awesome, man. Awesome stuff. Well, you better fix them pictures, put them back up.
I know. Bro. I got to go put them back up before my parents come in.
I'll be out. I'm actually going to be in LA this week. My son has a basketball tournament. That's why there's no show tomorrow. He's playing at the Sports Academy, Kobe's facility.
Wow.
They got a huge national tournament. Matt Barnes is hosting it. So shout out to my son, Tyson, man.
Good luck, Tyson.
Yeah, he's a baller. So I'll let you know how he does on the recap. Here we go right here. Mystery Sauce, bro. Hey, I don't know enough about it, bro. You got to tell me. Does he look unstoppable?
I know he's unbelievable. He set the Premier League scoring record in his first season. He's just a machine. He's totally different now. Like if we ever talk about, it's tough because here's the thing. You call it soccer, right? All the Europeans get really mad at you. But if you call it football, nobody in America knows what you're talking about. So it's really a lose-lose situation.
I'm talking about soccer. I don't care. I'm talking about soccer because I got my football. We got to cover more football too. Mystery Sauce, appreciate you tuning in, my man. That does it for today's episode of the Justin Henry Show. Be sure you guys like, subscribe, share the episode, and we will see you next week. Myself, Nick Durst, the producer, Matt, and Justin. We'll see you next time. Champions Round. We out, baby.